Lincoln Spear as he picked up a Void Stone. So, I think a BKB would be a better call in this case when Tigger picks up his Hex. Yeah, when Tigger picks up his Hex, I mean, Lincoln Spear will stop one Hex, but it won't really stop like the Frostbite or the Sand King Stun. Ooh, Tigger picked up a Blink Dagger as his second item. I mean, with the Soul Ring, he has enough mana to do stuff, but I don't... Usually you want sort of a tanky mana spending item before you get a Blink Dagger. Maybe like a Shiva's Guard or a Hex, which provides some HP in the form of the Ultimate Orb, so a really aggressive Blink Dagger. I guess they sort of really want to win this early game extremely badly before the Morphling gets too fat and complete butt rate 13. So, Weaver, despite his AFK farm, 60 creep kills in almost 20 minutes, it's really not very good. Morphling, on the other hand, after his extremely terrible mid lane, has managed to pick up his farming pace, almost has 100 creeps in 20 minutes, which is right on track. I mean, Morphling can obviously do better, but that's usually if he's in tri-lane and if he gets a lot of farm and if he wasn't hated on so hard by a Tinker. Meanwhile, a clutch teleport out by the Tinker managed to save his life from a Leshrac and a Sven. So, yeah, a lot of stuff's happening. 29 kills in 20 minutes. That's like 1.5 kills per minute. So, sorry if I've missed a lot of them. I mean, I think I'm missing mostly just like the Clockwork kills. This Clockwork is being really effective in his ganking, his rocketing. I think this Clockwork is sort of winning the Scourge of the game right now. He's allowing Weaver to farm. He's providing Scourge a lot of map mobility, and he's providing a Tinker sort of sight to spam his endless waves of rocket. So this is sort of why I like Clockwork as a hero, because he can sort of keep down... Oop, mouse spazzed out for a bit. He can sort of keep down the enemy team in the mid game if he's effective enough, if he got enough levels in farm early game. He can sort of single-handedly keep down the enemy supports from venturing too far out. So, good job by the Clockwork. I mean, that's just sort of my opinion, but I'm really impressed with this clock. Although, it's interesting because there's sort of a double Clockwork. Tinker's Marching Machines produce a whole bunch of mini-me's all over the Clockwork. That was a terrible Dr. Evil impression, but most of you are probably... I mean, terrible impressions and terrible analogies are my forte, so it doesn't really matter. Looks like, oh, Morphling tried to last hit that tower, but didn't manage to get it. Looks like, Sand King tried to go for an epicenter. Nice shackle shot, binds Sand King to a tree. Morphling manages to pick up a kill, and meanwhile, the purple, who is the other hero's Clockwork manages to pick up a kill on the Sven. Morphling replicates out, and who's purple? I can't remember who purple was, but, other hero, Weaver, somebody picked up a kill on that. You know, Crystal Main's dead, dies to the Leshrac, so Sentinel managed to pick up a tower, and they managed to pick up 3 kills from 1. Good job by the Sentinel, sort of ensconcing themselves back into the game. Ensconcing? I think that's how you pronounce it, so I'm just gonna... Ensconcing or ensconcing? I think it's ensconcing, but they sort of provided themselves a foothold back into the game. They managed to pick up a tower. They have the same number of towers as the Scourge, and their Morphling hasn't died in quite a while. I mean, he's only died twice to that mid lane and Tinker, and those 2 deaths, although they put him back experience, they didn't really put him back too much in the gold department because you don't lose as much gold in the early game as you do when you're a higher level. So, Windrunner, 80 creep kills, doesn't really have any items. I'm a little surprised how well is she doing. She's 3 and 4, so she should be expecting to do a little bit. Alright, a little bit of jungling. I'm going to take this time to drink some Gatorade. Scourge is doing a good job counter-warning. They're killing a lot of sentry wards. I guess they want to... I mean, there are a lot of sentry wards, but I don't know how many observer wards there are. There's just sort of this one by the Scourge. And I can't really see too many else on the minimap. This one by the Scourge as well. Or is this one by the Sentinel? This one's by the Sentinel. So, yeah. I mean, they're picking off a lot of sentry wards. Maybe it's just sort of to protect their Sand King when he goes into Sandstorm form. Morphling managed to pick up his Lincoln Sphere, so it'll be harder to bring down, and you'll be able to spam waveform, but he already has a bottle. I'm not really liking this Lincoln Sphere choice, but I guess it's sort of a survivability item. If he gets jumped on by the Tinker, if he gets jumped on by the Clockwork, who's been everywhere. Clockwork is 8-0. He has his Ag Stick 23 minutes in. How fat? When was the last time you saw a 23-minute Ag Stick on a Clockwork in a professional game? So, yeah, Clockwork has been really effective. 7th. Sven has 7. 7, Sven. That was total misspeak on my part, but Sven has 7 creep kills. Doesn't have his treads. He's just sort of being a support hero. You know, Reshrak. Sorry to all my Asian viewers. I am sort of Asian, but not really. Anyway, Leshrak managed to pick up Arcane Boots and a Mechanism. Morphling still has that. Crystal Main has a Smoke and an Urn. Weaver has nothing, probably saving for a Relic. Clockwork has the Vanguard and the Ag Stick. Sand King doesn't have Dagger. Let's do a quick Sand King Blink Dagger check. He's 600 away from the Blink Dagger, and Weaver is probably about 1100 away from his Relic. So, Scourge, despite getting a lot of kills, doesn't really have as much farm as a Sen will do overall. When I manage to pick up a Force Staff, that'll be useful in forcing the cogs out. Forcing a hero away from pretty much Clock. That's it. But with the 15-second cooldown on his ultimate, Clock can just sort of hook back in. I think Clockwork is so much fun as a hero. He gets on other people's nerves so well. Yeah, I just like Clock as a hero. So anyway, Morphling, waveforming it up. Windrunner, power shouting it up. Howling up, stormbolting it up, pulsing it up. So that was a sort of miscellaneous war cry. Was there a reward? There is a reward, but they did smoke. Maybe they sort of saw them pop the smoke, and they just sort of didn't know. Clockwork hooks in, and he might be surrounded, but Tinker comes to the rescue, and looks like Windrunner is going to die. Windrunner dies to the Clockwork pulse, and looks like they're going to go after the Venge. Clockwork should have a hook in a couple of seconds. He gets Rocket First Sight, and Tinker with the Blink Dagger manages to blink in and get a Rocket. So good job by the Tinker and the Clockwork, getting some more kills. But key point is, they're not managing to kill the Morphling, or even harass the Morphling too heavily, and he's just sort of building up his farm. He has picked up a Boots of Travel as his second item. This indicates that he's gonna farm so hard. I wouldn't be surprised if his next time is a Scotty, just straight up Scotty, because Boots of Travel and Replicate just provide that you can be in every lane at once, and with the Lincoln Sphere you'll never run out of mana. Even with the bottle you'll never run out of mana, and he has 13 charges on the Magic Wand, so I'm just gonna guess that he's gonna pick up a Scotty as the next time, because he's clearly going for the late game build. You know, Sentinel, I mean, despite being outkilled, they are turtling pretty well. They haven't lost a tower in quite a while. It's still 3 towers to 3 towers. So, Scourge have to make a move. I'm gonna guess once Weaver gets his Relic, which he still doesn't have. I mean, Weaver, come on, man. You've been farming like this whole time. I mean, you're 3-3, but you have 107 kills in 27 minutes. That's not really too good, man. What you doing, bro? Come on, dude. Alright, anyway. Looks like Winner is probably gonna go for a pipe, or maybe just an extra headdress, but I'm gonna guess it's a pipe. So, let's see what will happen now. Yeah. So, a little bit of a lull in the action. 35 kills in 27 minutes. I've sort of managed to pick up my map awareness, so I'm pretty happy with myself. Looks like Crystal Main got out of smoke, and Clockwork cooks another Venge, but a nice Force Staff pushes the Venge away, and looks like, yeah, they managed to pick up the Sand King. Clockwork sort of hooked out. Crystal Main was almost in a lot of trouble placing that ward. She was smoked, but she got revealed, but she placed the ward successfully, and it doesn't matter now. Clockwork comes in with another hook, gets 3 people in a hog, Winner in a hog, in a cog hog, and looks like Yanni, Scourge are just sort of mopping up. I mean, this is sort of the downfall of a Morphling going on Lincoln's Boots of Travel. He literally does no damage. And now he might just feed. He's going to waveform out. Let's see if he goes for a Travels. Clockwork goes for a nice hook shot. This is why Aghanim's Scepter on Clockwork is so much fun. You have a hook shot every 20 seconds, and Morphling finally dies. Much needed death, and loses a lot of gold in the process. So, this Clockwork, man. Good play by Dreamz Law, Angry Face. Angry, mischievous, smiling face. So, Dreamz Law, man. Carrying his team. Let's see what Tinker picks up Altamar. He's obviously going for Hex next. Or, I mean, this is Filipino Dota. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes for a Manta style. Looks like there's some trash talk, Lowy Dati Kompi, Kabigang, Khaled, hi there. I like how they throw in random English there at the end. And we managed to pick up a relic, so let's see how far he is from his Radiance. Radiance is almost finished. So the Morphling having 0 damage, and Sentinel support's having... It's not really looking too good for the Sentinel, but I mean, they do have a Morphling. They haven't lost any towers since early in the game, so they still have a shot. Morphling's just been dead for a while, so it's not looking good for Sentinel, but they can still pull this out. They just sort of have to be on the watch out for this Clockwork, who's providing some excellent hook shots. And Sand King managed to pick a Blink Dagger. Winner pops a Smoke and pops a Ward. Looks like Clockwork's going for a pipe as well, so just a massive amount of pipes on the Sentinel will mitigate a lot of Leshrack's magical damage. I don't really know. I mean, oh, I guess they somehow. Oh my god, they killed the Morphling right off the bat. Really, really strong gank. I'm just sort of like a little bit speechless because that was a really strong chain stun. I don't know how they got rid of the Linkage Sphere. Maybe Crystal Maiden propped Frostbite in. That's gonna guess. That's what happened. Weaver with his Relic and his Radiance managed to not get a kill. Crystal Maiden managed to get that kill, but Morphling rage buys in a fit of rage. That's what you do when you rage buy. You're often raging. So Clockwork sort of jumps in, falls to the wall. Sand King pops in his ult, then blinks in. Just does. Oh my god, Sentinel. It's not looking good, man. I mean, Morphling managed to pick up a kill, but now he has no waveform. So I think he's pretty well boned, and he does die to Tinker. So Dreamz putting on a show against HFmski, and they managed to pick up a tower. It was picked up by Weaver. So this is not looking good for Sentinel. I mean, I can understand the Linkage, but I don't really understand the Boots of Travel. You could have done so much more with that 2,200 gold. Yeah, and Treads would provide you with more survivability, which you really need in this case. I mean, high burst damage of the Sentinel heroes with the rockets, with the Clockwork Hook, with Crystal Maiden, and even sort of the prolonged teamfight of a Sand King and the Weaver, just sort of owning the Sentinel right now. Yeah, I mean, Leshrack, even with his mechanism and his point booster, still only has 1300 HP, although he did pick up a Ogre Axe. I mean, Leshrack, he's not really working out too well in this strategy. I mean, he's 2 and 4, but I don't feel like they've really gotten their push on. I guess he's sort of like an aggressive anti-pusher, which totally makes sense. An aggressive anti-pusher. He's sort of a turtling hero who can do it very well, but he needs to be up close. It's not really long-range turtling. So, like, if they wanted a harder turtler, I would have suggested maybe a Puck, or I think a Puck might have worked a lot better. He has a more reliable ultimate, although he wouldn't have worked in the tri-lane as well. But I think he would have been a better mid-solo than the Morphling. But if they want to turtle hard, which it looks like they're trying to do with the Morphling, I think Puck would have worked so much better. Meanwhile, Sven and Vengeful are going to pick off this Tinker. Vengeful with the haste. An unnecessary swap is unnecessary. But they managed to pick up... Actually, Morphling managed to get the last hit. So, good job by the Morphling. Any sort of things that they can do. Clockwork hooks in after Crystal Maiden gets a nice grab. Gets 2 people in the cog. 4 steps out to Sven, but Sand King comes in with a clutch ultimate. Dreamz Law gets another kill, and oh my god. Morphling ends the Beyond Godlike streak, and that is huge, absolutely huge for the Sentinel. If you wanted somebody to end Clockwork's Beyond Godlike streak, that would have to be the Morphling. And now Morphling's on cleanup duty with his survival.